Okay, I'm excited. Thank you so much, everyone. I'm excited to be here. I'm more excited for you to get to know this brand, Mailchimp, who's doing outstanding work, bold work from a creative perspective. I want to kick this off, and Michelle, I'll start with you. About Cannes last year, there was a new category added to the mix. It was the B2B category. And B2B companies are raising the bar for creativity. Mailchimp is one of them. When we think about raising the bar for creativity in B2B, there's emotional connection that a lot of B2C companies work on. So there's fluidity between B2B and B2C. And I think Mailchimp is leading the way on this. Can you tell us a little bit more about this, Michelle, as in your CMO role, what you're seeing and what does that look like between the B2C and B2B audiences?
Yeah, so we don't think about ourselves as B2C or B2B. At the end of the day, all the companies house humans. And so we want to talk to humans. We recognize that talking to humans shouldn't be a boring to boring type of exercise. And we think that B2B should stand for brilliant and breakthrough. And so we think about what is it that moves people? How do you create the emotional connection with them? And what does that journey that compounds in terms of the emotional connection look like? And whether that's off platform, where they're seeking inspiration about creativity, or on platform, where they're really focused about getting the work done.
That's really smart, Michelle. Anything you guys want to add to that?
No, I think, thank
Closer.
you. No, it's everything that Michelle said. I think it really is about meeting the customer and the and our prospective customers where they are, showing up in the in the environments where they are, is not only in the business mindset but also in in a consumer mindset as well.
That's great. And I don't know if you guys heard, but Katie's also joining us. She leads their in-house agency team called Wink. And I just wanted to ask you, when we think about target audiences like we just talked about and the emotional connection, that's really important. Knowing your target audience has never been more important. I don't mean the segmentation piece, but the culturally relevant piece. And I think that, can you talk a little bit about, Katie, like the target audiences and what you guys have been doing and the work you've been doing to really target those audiences?
Yeah, we have always been customer obsessed. Our product development all the way to our marketing. And it is essential for everything that we do, especially, the in-house creative team has a real heart for our customers and knowing them online and offline. And an example of what we do when we try to really find the heart of our customer base is showing up in an unexpected way. For example, last fall, we did an activation at New York Fashion Week. Why would Mailchimp, a marketing and automations platform, be at New York Fashion Week? Well, it's a huge stage for the U.S. Fashion industry and incredibly difficult to break through. And these labels, big and small, but the small ones especially, are entrepreneurs and they're marketers in their own right. And that's our ideal audience, so why wouldn't we show up there? And so we partnered with IMG and the Black and Fashion Council to showcase the capsule collections from 5 emerging Black designers who we wanted to sort of democratize access to that kind of a stage. And the capsule collection sold out, and it was amazing, an amazing partnership. And that's what we always try to do, is take the guesswork out of marketing so that mid-sized businesses and advanced marketers can just focus on growing their business. And partnering with Mailchimp, their marketing is that much easier but effective. So
I love that, and I love the New York Fashion Week. I mean, that's a really good way to...
It was a really fun project.
Super fun. And Michelle, I know, talking about audiences, there's a global piece to this. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we're in 190 countries. Half of our revenue and our customers are actually outside of the US. And so we think about not only the personalization of the experience that they have with us, but also what are the broader themes. And as we think about marketing to marketers, and I think you would agree that they're a skeptical bunch, we certainly are, we think about 2 things that they care about. One is really going down deep into the business. How much revenue? How many more customers? What is the feature set? What does AI and personalization at scale look like? And then in their off time, they care about creativity and the creative process. And so things like New York Fashion Week, or an exhibit that we have coming up with the London Design Museum around the cultural relevance of email. That's how we start to have a relationship with them around what really matters to them, even if they're not thinking directly about the brand, so that we show up in unexpected places and start to forge that.
They're all cheering for your answer. So I want to move to, like, you talk a lot about different marketing strategies, and I think you guys are doing a lot that's very different, which is great. I want to do a quick plug for our Edelman brand trust study that launched yesterday. And in that brand study, actually Monday, we talked about how the funnel is really collapsed lately. So the traditional marketing funnel looks a lot different. It's more of kind of an infinite loop in terms of how we engage with consumers. In fact, we found in our data that 78% of consumers say they uncover things and they're attracted to a brand after they purchase. So usually that's before. And so, Dana, I want to talk to you a little bit about that kind of before and after and just the engagement you guys do throughout all of your customers. Give me some examples of what that looks like for Mailchimp and some of the work you guys have been doing on that engagement piece.
Yeah, absolutely. And it kind of goes back to what Katie just said a moment ago about customer obsession. And we are really meticulous and try to be very thoughtful and in kind encourage our customers to think about that approach in their own marketing about what that prospective customer experience is. And so as we think about full funnel marketing, it's really about building for the environments, and our creative and our media teams are really working collaboratively together, and that leads to really like unique creative experiences, such as a program that we did as part of our activating our NFL sponsorship, and a tie-in with the Buffalo Bills, and a creative with a fellow named Pinto Ron, and really bringing that sort of context not only in upper funnel but also into the lower funnel as well, and trying to really get deep with partners with strategic insights from our key partners, and understanding the mindset of our prospective customers while they're engaging on various platforms.
That's really great. And I think a lot of what you guys are talking about, there's a real big thread to creativity, right? And I want to turn this over to Katie. Obviously, we're celebrating creativity this week. They have an in-house agency, as I talked about, called Wink. Can you tell us a little about that? Because I think I've heard you guys talk about your secret sauce, and a lot of it is Wink. And what does that look like, and what do you guys do?
Yeah, so Wink Creative is Mailchimp's in-house agency. We're almost 50 people strong. We have a really diverse set of backgrounds and skill sets, from brand design to performance creative to traditional campaign work. And the team is, I would say, I mentioned customer obsessed, but they are rabid about our customers and so passionate, and it comes through in the work that we do. We always aim, obviously, to add value to every brief that comes into us from our own colleagues, so being all under the same roof makes a big difference. But we're also, have this prerogative to create culture, to reinvent what it is to be an entrepreneur and think about their day-to-day lives as well as the realities of their pressures of, being an advanced marketer, running a business. And that's woven into everything that we do. We've only been around for about 3 years, but we won Ad Age's in-house agency of the year this year. So I have to brag. I'm so proud of my team.
Also, they have the best clients, let's face it.
That's the thing, is we're all in it together. And I am such a huge, I came from external agencies, but I'm such a huge fan of in-housing because we get to kind of see behind each other's curtains. And that distance is so much shorter to get to solutions and be really nimble and on top of cultural conversations that I think it's just inherently difficult physically to kind of bring lots of different external partners along. We'll always work with outside agencies to a degree, but it's one big family.
And if I can build on it, I think part of that secret sauce and that magic is not only the how a customer obsessed everybody is, but really being embedded in the business and understanding what are the metrics that drive our business, what are we trying to achieve, and that unlocks, I think, just gets everybody on the same page, media, creative, web marketing, product marketing, all of those teams working in such an integrated and really a quick way to bring ideas to market and to make pivots in a very quick, like I said, a quick way.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people in the audience will be wondering about, you said like you work with outside agencies, like how, kind of how does that work in terms of working kind of external and internal as well?
It really just depends. I think as a whole marketing org, we're really aware of like what we want to be really great at and have in-house, and what we know that we're going to always want to partner with experts and specialists, like great event partners and so on, and obviously production partners for big campaigns. But the beauty of it is the concept comes from within, and we're able to just impart that directly to our production partners. And a shoot's happening this week for a very exciting campaign we have coming up, speaking of which.
Stay tuned.
And I'll add, I think that mindset, applies to our external partners as well. And particularly in media, we work with external agencies, some of which are here. Thank you for coming. But it's getting everybody really grounded and rooted in our business, and having everybody really swimming in the same direction. It's such an important part of building effective and high-performing marketing teams.
I love that, swimming in the same direction.
I'll just add one thing, which I think is it allows us to have really transparent conversations, and they're not emotional. And we test things out, and we're a little bit more bold. And we take, I don't know if you'd agree with this, Katie, but we take quite some risk for an internal agency. And that has enabled us to sort of take small bets and create bigger and bigger wins.
That's really great. I want to pivot to kind of Cannes overall, and I'd love for the audience to hear your guys' thoughts on a variety of things as it relates to what we're doing this week. So I think we've seen a couple years past, but also this year in particular, purpose is a very big conversation, and action is really important. So Michelle, I'd love for you to talk about what's Mailchimp doing kind of overall for actions? What does it look like from a values perspective for your customers? Kind of, can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Sure. So we, for years, have been around to empower the underdog, and we've taken that to the next phase of providing radical momentum for every ambition as we go up market. That has meant that as part of our DNA, we want to make sure that the work that we do reflects our customers, and as so we don't just do work for Pride Month or Black History Month. We truly engage with all of these underserved communities, or underrepresented communities across the year. So a year ago, we launched Bloom Season 1 with just an enormous amount of inspirational and educational materials for entrepreneurs of color and marketers of color to help them truly bloom and their businesses bloom. We just launched Bloom Season 2 for the LGBTQ plus community with similar tools and inspiration. Katie talked about New York Fashion Week. We don't see this as a one and done or as a nice to have for a specific month. It's truly part of every piece of work that we do. You see it in our illustration, you see it in our photography, you see it in the vendors that we hire, and in our team diversity. Yeah.
I love that, and I love how you really do focus on audience and kind of understand what's important to them and what that looks like. So it makes for such great efforts, as you talked about. We're halfway through Cannes. I mean, halfway, yeah.
Only halfway?
Right. I want to get your guys' take. I think, Katie, I'll start with you, but let's go down the row. What have you seen so far? Like, what are your observations?
For the conversations I've been in and the talks that I've watched, I've been really struck by the encouragement and the dialogue between client and creative to take risks. I think that, to Michelle's point, like within Mailchimp, because we're so close with an in-house agency, we are able to, I'm reflecting on that topic for us. I appreciate that I can go to Michelle with a big idea coming from my team, and Michelle can be like, hell yeah, let's do it. Or let's unpack this. Every conversation's different, but I just feel I feel fortunate at Mailchimp that this whole topic of creative risk taking doesn't have to go through so many cycles to do something that's just you know what, at a gut instinct, we need to make this happen out in the world, and we do that. We had a big HubSpot kind of activation in Boston that was a really quick turnaround response to their big conference. And, that's pretty hard to do in other contexts. And so I like hearing these conversations and appreciating the setup that we have with Wink and within marketing overall. So, yeah.
It's great.
I didn't pay her to say that, though.
From my perspective, I think one of the things that's kind of struck me maybe as a little bit different this year has been just how many conversations and just the level of engagement and interest around measurement. We don't often come to events like this, and so many of our so much of the dialogue is focused on that, and I think that's a testament, particularly in the media world where we're constantly finding new ways and looking at reevaluating measurements and just the degree of partnership that we seek and how accountable we are at driving business outcomes, and that extends to so many of our key partners, and it goes back to kind of what we were talking about before around the transparency and and the unified efforts around around our business. So it's just the receptivity, the interest, and the thoughtfulness around measurement has kind of struck me this year.
Yeah. For me, it's about AI and where is technology and is it here to stay? Where is it going? And it's really fascinating. We just launched some research with Forrester that suggests that 9 out of 10 marketers believe that AI is going to grow or help grow their business and accelerate it, but only about 50% of them actually use it. And so I'm curious, with all the conversation, what is going to be the say-do ratio here? And is it going to accelerate that?
And I've been hanging with Michelle for the last 24 hours, and you said something really great about AI and your employees and kind of what you guys are doing. Can you share that with the audience? I thought it was really smart.
Yeah. So we, at Intuit, we are a very high growth company. The expectations are very ambitious and very exciting. And to do that, you have to lead your people in a very motivating and different way. And what I've seen AI be really successful at with our managers is help them do have great feedback sessions, be a companion to write a performance review in the right way, help them sort of understand how to structure the ongoing feedback to an employee, or even marketers to creatives to have that meaningful relationship and sort of grow. So, yeah.
Good. And when we think about the Week of Creativity, I would just like to toss it to any of you. Like, what are you most proud of? Like, when you leave here and you've learned a lot, but when you go back to Mailchimp and your work, what have you done so far that you're most proud of, or what's coming up that you're really excited about?
I mean, I'm coming out of Cannes. I'm just reflecting on the talent on my team, and I'm very grateful for them and the importance of talent and nurturing creative talent. In-house, I think we were able to do that as like a manager in a very thoughtful way, and I just really appreciate them. And then in terms of this year, I'm really excited for our upcoming campaign that is gonna be out in August, and it's just another amazing manifestation of the insane Mailchimp brand. So stay tuned.
You can't even share a little bit.
So, lips are sealed.
And I'll say I'm really proud of the culture we've built around experimentation. It's such a critical part around driving growth, and how our teams have leaned in to risk taking, to experimentation, realizing that with a single experiment we're not going to break the business, and really inspiring that confidence and that trust, and how that then trickles in just sort of to our overall mindset and in growth. And we ran I think over 100 experiments last year, and it's one by one we're learning and we're optimizing, and it's just such a powerful approach to to servicing our customers.
It's really smart. I love that, because we often think that everything has to be perfect right away. It needs to be tied up in a bow. The fact that you guys experiment like that or pilot something, and you're able to walk away if it doesn't work, but you're able to take advantage if it does. Michelle, we'd love what are you most proud of?
Most proud of the team. We have a very corny hashtag called Beat Our Best on our team. We use it as Beat Our Best Together, and I'm really proud of the work that we continuously do together to elevate the brand.
It's really great. And one last question, I'll turn over to Michelle, but if you guys want to build, what should marketers be thinking about today, like that for the future as they leave here? Just some advice from you as the CMO of clearly what has been a really great, bold, creative space for you guys. Like, what should people be thinking about that they can take away?
I would just say proceed and be bold. So don't just think, but take action and move forward, and you'll learn, and either you'll fail fast and move on, but you'll learn and do great things, or you'll do some bold work that you're really excited by. Yeah.
I think that's great. And so we'll go ahead and end on that note. Round of applause for Mailchimp, doing really, really awesome work.
Thank you.